never able to actually show that any amount of changes in the genome or any amount of uses of their mechanisms of evolution can actually account for those systems. Specifically, he was pressed at first about the bacterial flagella. Can you show how a system can account for the bacterial flagella? And that was brought up to him, look, anything that you're going to offer me, anything at all that you're going to offer me, is going to try to compare homologies or something like that. What is it specifically that this guy believes is actually able to prove his position? Because I think that a lot of evolutionists, when they come into these rooms, they think that it's sort of a gotcha question. Show to me how the accumulation of changes can account for this system. Prove to me that the mechanisms of evolution can build this system. That's not even a gotcha question. That is a necessary claim that they have to meet. That is a necessary burden of proof that they have to meet. If they're going to tell us that this is science, and better science than intelligent design, they have to show us whether or not the mechanisms of evolution can actually account for the systems that are in question, and they can never seem to do that. I noticed he kept on trying to interrupt me when I tried to bring the example, like, dude, all you're doing is you're comparing structures in a similar way to how you compare cars and you compare motorcycles. Anybody can compare structures that look like one another and line them up into least complexity or most complexity, and just to see which one is closer in appearance or an operation or in similarity. And that doesn't tell us that therefore all cars and motorcycles evolved from a piece of ore through some unintended process millions and millions of years ago. And every time I tried to press that point to him, he said, well, no, you can't compare cars. It's a false dichotomy because you can't, or a false analogy, because you can't compare motorcycles and cars because they don't reproduce. Well, okay. If you're going to tell me that it's different here, then we're going right back to the first assumption. You're assuming that the continuation of changes over time can build this structure. You're assuming that. You are assuming that the continuation of changes, that if something reproduces, this therefore means that there is an ability through evolution where you can account for these systems for that. And it's just like, you can't have it both ways. You can't sit over here and tell me that intelligent design isn't science and intelligent design is religion because it supposedly doesn't have a mechanism. Well, that's what we hear all the time. That's obviously not true. And at the same time, you yourself are not capable of showing me that the mechanisms of evolution that you posit can also account for these systems. You can believe it all day long that when you take one structure that's already established, like the type 3 secretory system, and one structure that's already established, like the ATP synthase, because they have homologous proteins that one evolved into the other, but it becomes the same problem like with cars or with motorcycles and so on, when you're believing that the laws of physics and chemistry on their own can lead up to and to build some other structure, that they all evolved from some unintended process through millions of years through ore modifying itself and arranging itself in such a way to build something. I mean, the problem stays the same, and I think that that's the problem. I think that these people here, they don't really understand that, and it's kind of sad. It's very clear that their position is religiously based. Making us. That's obvious. We were the end result of creation. And what is wrong with these guys? If you are finding systems that are only known to come from an intelligent agent, coded in information, and motors, and freaking motors and turbines, the creation is an indicator of a creator. And if you're to say, well, no, not necessarily, okay, well, fine, not necessarily. There could possibly be another explanation that could account for these systems. I think it's illusional, but okay, fine. We'll grant you the possibility of there being some other explanation out there that no one can account for it. Nobody has any clue what it is. Okay, fine. Where's your evidence for it? Why do you reject a known cause that can produce these effects for some other possibility that you're not even aware of? And it's sad because those are the responses that we get. These are the types of responses that we were getting last night. And it does go to show that a lot of these people who are supporting evolutionary theory, they're not supporting it because they think that it's a science. They're supporting it because this is really a religious position for them. It gives them an answer for life and how we got here, and when it fails, they don't really know what to say. I mean, this guy, but overall, I think it was a good discussion last night. Got a little heated there towards the end, but really got heated there towards the end because I wasn't going to let that guy slide away from his claims and his assertions there. But